Oi, listen to me when I's talking to ya. We's gonna go on their ship. We's gonna smash it up and kill anything that gets in our way. And then we's gonna get back on the boat and go home. That'll show 'em. Do you lot of humies runts understand that? Good. Now with me. War!
Though it is true to say that many of the Xenos of the galaxy are typical in their desires and strategies, there are always outliers. Creatures bereft of the glory of his Imperium, yet adequate in their utility in culling the enemies of his Imperium. Though it cannot be said that the enemy of my enemy is my friend, they are in some instances able to aid humanity, if only for their own selfish gains. As such, today we shall tell the deeds of a greenskin worthy of elucidating, in order to better understand and exploit the weaknesses of his Imperium's enemies, the so-called freebooter, Captain Bloodflag. An Orc pirate that hounded the Imperium during the Third Aurelian Crusade, Captain Bloodflag as a freebooter clan captain would plunder the Aurelia subsector for many years unimpeded until the arrival of the Emperor's Angels, the Bloodravens. A reputedly savage Orc, Bloodflag would be entirely driven by his thirst for plunder in conjunction with his own Orc war. Uncharacteristically for a greenskin, Bloodflag would only engage in battles deemed profitable to pillage. Identified by Inquisitor Adrastia of the Ordo Hereticus as a treacherous mercenary for hire to even the sector's human nobility, Bloodflag would often attempt incredibly risky ventures in order to line his own pockets. Commanding hundreds of Orc crewmen within his gigantic void ship, Kill Cruiser. With the High Lords of Terror's decree to purge the sector via Exterminatus, the Bloodravens would instead resolve to purge the system with Blade and Bolter and safeguard the soon-to-be-conquered planets. With Captain of the Bloodravens' Third Company, Gabriel Angelos, joining forces with Inquisitor Adrastia, the Imperium's warriors would shoot down Bloodflag's vessel, causing it to crash land on the planet of Typhos. Losing many of his crew to the impact, Bloodflag would survive with only 3 other crew members, Mr. Nailbrain, young Master Spookums, and the Stormboy, Brickfist. Assaulted by an Eldar scout party, Bloodflag would conquer small Craftworld outposts and reorganize his fragmented forces on his way to confront their leader, Autarch Kavlesh. Defeating the Craftworld Alatok Eldar, Bloodflag would slay Caliph, yet in her final moments, the Autarch would convey dark tidings for the subsector and Bloodflag's own fate. Soon after, surrounded by Imperial forces under the command of Inquisitor Adrastia, the two would parlay a deal. Tasking the Orc captain with the deeds of slaying the renegade Bloodraven chaptermaster, Azariah Kyrus, Adrastia would permit the Orcs to face 3 Imperial Guard regiments to earn their glory in combat of an arena of their choosing. However, the deal would be sundered with Bloodflag's insistence that the Inquisitor's hat be added to the bargain. Leaving empty-handed, Adrastia would inform the Orcs that she had been responsible for crashing their ship. Vowing vengeance against the Inquisitor, Bloodflag would warn her that she would soon pay for her actions. With no ship to escape the planet, Bloodflag would assault a traitor guard-held teleporter array within a nearby laden temple ruin, facing a Baneblade super heavy tank by the name of Beamblade. Thwarting the chaos-corrupted Imperial Guard units, Bloodflag would succeed in escaping Typhos and transport his forces to the Bloodraven recruitment world of Calderis. Finding the chaos-corrupted Astartes, led by Sergeant Lysandros, purging the planet's city capital of Argus, the Orcs would pillage the valuables left in the Astartes' wake. Meshing together vehicles to combat the Chaos Space Marines, the Orcs would crush the Firebase's forces and reap their rewards. Yet before escaping with their ill-gotten gains, they would be confronted by the Orc War, led by Warboss Smashface. Forcing the Warband into a bottleneck, Bloodflag would decimate Smashface's war and end the Warboss's life. With Smashface's remnant army joining Bloodflag's forces, Bloodflag would use the city's teleporters to travel to the Aurelian subsector, former capital world, Aurelia. Assaulted by Chaos Space Marines on the now frozen wasteland, Bloodflag would dismantle and destroy anything within reach before retreating through the teleporters to the Meridian City capital. Facing further renegade Marine forces, Bloodflag would intercept a transmission from the Lord Ascendant of the traitor Marines, Kyrus. Informing Inquisitor Adrastea to prepare for battle, Bloodflag would further plunder Meridian by raiding the hive city of Spire Golgotha, held by the Orc Badmoon's clan. Combating the Orc battle wagon, Daisy, Bloodflag's Lieutenant Mr. Nailbrain would salvage the massive vehicle and move onward to face their charge on the planet of Typhon, Azariah Kyrus. Finding what appeared to be the corrupted Chapter Master, Kyrus would be revealed as an illusion cast by the Eldar Alatok Seer Council. Combating the Craftworld Eldar once more, the Orcs would be victorious, yet with the destruction of the Seer Council, they would in turn doom Typhos to destruction. It is here that Kyrus would reveal himself. Applauding the Orc captain for aiding his own plans in slaying the Seer Council, Kyrus would inform Bloodflag of the arrival of the Imperium's Exterminatus fleet and depart the planet. Knowing his Orc War would be destroyed should they linger, Bloodflag would order his forces to retreat. Fighting through hordes of demons, feral Tyranids, Orcs, Chaos Space Marines, and their champion, Bloodflag would finally escape Typhos' destruction into the unknown. Materializing on the Space Hulk, Judgment of Carrion, Bloodflag would see to the colossal conglomeration of ships and turn it into a new kill cruiser. Slaying the Space Hulk's denizens of Tyranids and rival Orcs, Bloodflag would plan his next course of action with the Space Hulk now in his possession. Deducing Kyrus to be located on the exterminated planet of Cyrene, Bloodflag would venture to the desolate world and confront the Chaos-corrupted forces. Destroying a large contingent of his forces, Kyrus would nonetheless ascend to the form of a demon prince of the ruinous powers. Seeking to sacrifice the Aurelian sector to the blood god, Khorne, Bloodflag would aid Captain Gabriel Angelos and his Blood Ravens in attempting to thwart Kyrus. Though weakening the demon prince, Angelos would be wounded and his forces broken. Bloodflag and his forces would incapacitate the demon prince and bring down a rock barrage loaded with explosives to destroy Kyrus. With the Aurelia subsector saved from the clutches of the ruinous powers, Bloodflag would see to one last grudge, Inquisitor Adrastea. Confronting Adrastea, Bloodflag would overpower the Inquisitor and steal her hat. Content with his plunder, Bloodflag would leave the Aurelia subsector and pillage the galaxy aboard the reforged flagship, Kill Cruiser, seeking their next spoils of war, bloodshed, and raiding.
Them Inquisition Yumis can't be trusted any further than they can be thrown, which in that one's case might be a bad example.
This has been a tale of the Greenskin Hordes, read by the Remembrancer. Though consorting with Xenos is frowned upon within the Imperium, such means to an end can benefit the will of the Emperor. For sooner or later, such tools can be cast aside and broken. Yet most greenskin cannot be bargained with, and as such, deserve only the embrace of a bolter shell. As such, in our next transmission, we shall elucidate one such creature worthy of the Angel's wrath, the being known only as the Beast.